So our main event topic this week, there's a lot to unpack with this one, cause there's a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
But this is just been announced. We were talking about Linkin Park announces not only that they have a new singer, but also that they are making a new album with this new singer. And her name is Emily Armstrong, and she has a history, and it's not all good news when it comes to her history. And so, again, there's a lot to unpack here because number one, if you're a fan of Linkin Park, I don't feel like anybody is going to accept anybody except Chester Bennington. Hello, that's
Okay.
kind of the sound, right?
My little two quick cents. I saw a comment somebody made on social media that was like, everyone always gets mad when bands lose a vocalist and then they replace them with somebody else. People, and that's yes, absolutely. But Chester is kind of a different circumstance. He kind of died in a different. He kind of died for one. Two, the way he died. Um, Three, he was Lincoln Park basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that I we're going to talk about it in depth, but just to go ahead and get out there, I feel like they should have started a different project.
I agree, and there's a lot of that in the story here too. Um, anyway,
Sorry, I
let's.
got ahead of myself.
No, you're good. You're good. Lincoln Park has a
I
new
have a lot
singer
of emotions.
and a new album on the way. This is from LATimes.com. Linkin Park is back. The influential rap rock band announced Thursday that it's reunited 7 years after the 2017 death of frontman Chester Bennington and plans to tour and release a studio album this fall. Again, lots to unpack. Let's see if we can do this. The group's new singer is going to be Emily Armstrong, who was previously known as a member of the Los Angeles based rock band Dead Sarah, who I'm not familiar with. Linkin Park also has announced a new drummer in Colin Britton, who replaces the band's former drummer by the name of Rob Borden. The group's remaining members are rapper and producer Mike Shinoda, guitarist Brad Delson, DJ Joe Hahn, and of course their one named bassist Phoenix, all of whom founded the band in Agora Hills in 1996, along with the aforementioned Chester Bennington. Um, Linkin Park will release a new 11-track album called From Zero on November 15th, which is its first release since 2017's One More Light, which, by the way, came out just 2 months before Bennington died by suicide at his home in Palos Verdes Estates. The LP's lead single, The Emptiness Machine, dropped on Thursday. So that is already out. So this
Mm-hmm.
band has announced a new singer, a new drummer, a new record, and has released
And
a single,
yep.
all within a very short time. In the statement, the four surviving founders who called their band Zero before Bennington joined and they renamed it Linkin Park. So apparently Bennington was not. I mean, this. Oh man, yeah, I see your
They named
reaction.
it fucking.
Why is this not Zero then?
That's my entire problem. Cause okay, I don't like it. I think hey Toby, I think it needs to be a completely different project, okay? Because everyone's gonna be pissed about you replacing Chester, me included. Um, but two, you're just trying to when you're trying to relive these songs and keep performing them, it has this kind of feeling that like for example, Cool Me will probably know what I'm talking about. They did a show for Mitch Luker. I don't remember where it was, but he was a one of my favorite all time death metal vocalists or deathcore vocalists. And he died from a motorcycle accident. And they had a huge show where like Lamb of God came and did his songs. Like a shit ton of metal bands came and did Suicide Silence
So
songs.
just so we're clear, Toby is standing right here. And he's watching the stream to see if the fridge is in the shot so he can get a drink out of the fridge. This kid is ridiculous. Just go get you a drink, bro. Just go
I
get
already
you a
saw
drink.
you.
Yeah, she already saw you, so it's fine. Just go get you a freaking drink, you moron. He's literally like looking at his phone and looking up like
But what I was getting at was it feels like it's just like a memorial show. Like we're getting together, we're celebrating a life. God. You know what I mean? Like to do Linkin Park songs and have her doing it for like a tour or anything like that. It feels wrong. It feels like something you do at his memorial or funeral kind
again,
of thing.
along the same lines of what you're talking about, right? The only reason why, in my opinion, again, jump on me if you need to, but the only reason why any of us have ever heard the words Linkin Park when it comes to music is because of Chester Bennington. Period. We'd never heard of Zero. Have you ever heard of Zero? I've never heard of Zero. So Zero was the name of the band with the 4 surviving founders who are still alive, still with the band, before Bennington joined, and then they renamed it Linkin Park. So the fact of the matter is, if they didn't come out with this announcement as Linkin Park, we would not be hearing this. We wouldn't be talking about it. This would literally just be the reformation of Zero with a new singer.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is. But no, this feels like 4 guys that are trying to capitalize on their success.
Exactly.
Which is completely okay with them. Or that's completely fine. But at the same
time, given the circumstances, it seems pretty fucking bullshit.
Yeah, because I mean, this is a guy that not only passed away, but he
even if they don't make any music, if they just drop this shit and they're done, they don't, and you never hear from them again.
And then the name of the first record is from Zero.
Yeah.
Which is a clear reference to the band prior to Linkin Park.
It says that Shinoda refers to both this humble beginning and the journey that we're currently undertaking. Sonically and emotionally, it is about past, present, and future, embracing our signature sound, but new and full of life. It was made with a deep appreciation for our new and longtime bandmates, our friends, our families, and our fans.
And I could almost get behind that, except for the future part of it, right? Because if you're talking about the past, you're talking about Zero. When you're talking about the present, you don't have Linkin Park because Chester Bennington is not here. So the past is also Linkin Park. The future cannot be Linkin Park. I don't care what you try to do. It can't be because Chester Bennington is not part of it.
That's what I'm saying. And like, it's just, if it was a different band, a different because this kind of circumstance happens all the time that a band replaces a vocalist.
Right.
Nothing new. And people always get pissed about it in some form or fashion. Some people get happy depending on what it is, whatever. But a lot of people usually get pissed off about it. That's inevitable. But this being the circumstance, I don't understand how people are like, yeah, totally, yeah. You know? Like,
let's look at it like this, because this is a very easy way. Go ahead.
I can't listen to anything of this. Great example. Okay, I love Alter Bridge and hate Creed. Okay? They're the same band with different vocalists. Mm-hmm. Okay? You can make another fucking band, have the same fucking sound, different vocalist, new band, and everyone treats it differently. And it's going to be a thing because it's Linkin Park still, or Zero, whatever the fuck it is without Chester. It's still the band. It's still going to get notoriety. It's just, you fucked it up by staying with Linkin Park, man. Like,
yeah. Nobody's going to...
a certain era of, almost culture.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's all era.
All you have done is you have set up not only your entire band, but especially your vocalist for failure. 100%. Yeah. Because there is no other Chester Bennington. There isn't. You cannot replace a guy like that. You just can't. It's like trying to replace Chris Cornell. you're not going to frickin' do it. It's not going to happen. So don't even try. But now going forward, instead of giving this new vocalist a chance to be successful with you as a band, you have absolutely castrated her before she's even started.
And it's exactly, because now she's stuck. Now they're making new music, but besides that, you're stuck singing all these songs. I don't know how someone could do that. I don't know how anyone in this circumstance is like, yeah, this is cool. Like, who thought any of this was a good idea?
And the record's done, and the single is out, and all of this is happening now. Like, nobody knew about this, right? Until now.
And here's another thing. I watched, what maybe it was them doing, I don't remember what song it was, but her doing it live, a performance of them. And it's so obvious she's trying to sound like Chester too. Mm-hmm. So like, that just like, what? Like, why? Like, this doesn't feel new.
No, it's not new. It's not
exactly.
New. That's the thing. And it can't be new. Because
it's a rebrand.
They've literally taken the new, the possibility for new is gone just by keeping the same name. And that's why I have a real problem with the way that he's talking about past, present, and future. Because your past cannot be your future here with a different vocalist unless you have a fresh start with a new name and a new brand and all of that. And by God, put formerly known as Linkin Park in parentheses if you need to. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you are not Linkin Park without Chester Bennington. I don't care if you founded it or not. I mean, you founded it with Chester, and that's when Zero changed to Linkin Park. And when Chester leaves for whatever reason, then you go back to Zero.
That's like if Korn tried to replace freaking Jonathan Davis. That's if freaking Evanescence tried to replace Amy Lee. Yep. It's the same shit. Everyone be up in flames about that.
Matchbox 20 with Rob Thomas would be a good example. Like, no, you can't do that. Right?
I wouldn't be losing my shit on that one, but you probably wouldn't be losing your shit on Korn, would you?
I'm not losing my shit on any of it. Like, none of this really matters to me because I'm not heavily invested in these bands. But I can also speak from a place of, you know...
A music enthusiast?
Yeah, like just a place of neutrality, I guess. Like, and look at it without bias of loving or hating the band. I don't know anything about Emily Armstrong, but I can tell you that she's going to fail. Like, there's no way for her to... There's no way she can win here.
Because all everyone sees is the chick that's trying to replace Chester.
That's right. That's right. Instead of just, you know, her... This is a new band, and Emily is our vocalist. Please give her a chance. Blah, 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 blah. But no, they've already recorded the music. They've already done all of this. And yet, Emily Armstrong also has a past beyond just her music. And perhaps Katie doesn't even know this.
I don't.
But I have unpacked some things about Emily Armstrong that are a little bit concerning. Actually, they're a lot bit concerning, actually. But some of you folks out there may remember a guy by the name of Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
Danny Masterson, if you're not familiar, was on That 70s Show, real close friends with Ashton Kutcher, played on The Ranch.
Is now in jail for life.
He's now in prison for life because he's a convicted rapist. And Emily Armstrong supported him during his trial. And so I'm going to read about this a little bit. This is the same Emily Armstrong. I had to look that up because it could have been, you know, a very common name, which it probably is. But this is from Forbes again. New Linkin Park singer Emily Armstrong breaks her silence on Danny Masterson's support allegations. Following a wave of criticism and concern from Linkin Park fans, Linkin Park's new lead vocalist, Emily Armstrong, has responded to the alleged claims associating her to actor and convicted rapist Danny Masterson, Hi, I'm Emily, Armstrong posted on her Instagram story. I'm new to so many of you, and I wanted to clear the air about something that happened a while back. Several years ago, I was asked to support someone I considered a friend at a court appearance and went to one early hearing as an observer. Soon after, I realized I shouldn't have. I always try to see the good in people, and I misjudged him. I have never spoken with him since. Unimaginable details emerged, and he was later found guilty. To say it as clearly as possible, I do not condone abuse or violence against women, and I empathize with the victims of these crimes. That's her statement. It's important to note that at this time, Armstrong has not yet responded to comments and allegations also linking her to the Church of Scientology, which is a different can of worms, right?
Well, there's been a lot of weird shit come out about like Mike Shinoda too.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Anyway, much of the backlash he's faced has to do not only with her there's a typo here. Forbes do better. Much of the backlash she's faced has to do not only with her association with Masterson, but also with her alleged links to the Church of Scientology. Armstrong's association with Scientology was brought up by the Mars Volta vocalist Cedric Bixler Zavala, whose past comments resurfaced yesterday regarding Armstrong's alleged support for Masterson and her association with the church. Quote, I'm surprised none of you wrote a letter on Danny Masterson's behalf since your corny-ass singer showed up to support him in the prelims. Remember Emily? Remember how your fellow Scientologist goon squad surrounded one of the Jane Does when she was trying to leave the elevators? Zavala wrote, the court sheriffs had to escort her away from your awful cult, unquote.
It wasn't Masterson, right? That's his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he involved with the church?
Yes, he was. Yep,
that's what I thought. Yeah.
But anyway, this is a straight allegation from Mars Volta vocalist about how her and her cult, that's his word, awful cult, surrounded one of the Jane Does that was involved in one of Danny Masterson's victims was essentially surrounded by Emily Armstrong and her posse. Anyway, this is also a direct quote. Remember when we did the purification rundown, Emily? Were you directed to safe point me because of what my wife knew? Why can't you shut your mouth during a detox program where people are going through some rough shit, but your corny ass is singing like an unsupervised child, unquote. Yeah. So there's more.
Damn.
Quote, is it because you're a born again Scientologist that gets a pass? How do you reconcile the homophobia found in the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard's book Dianetics? Do your fans know about your friend Danny Masterson, your rapist friend, unquote? It's worth noting that many fans of Linkin Park have been quick to point out that the Church of Scientology has arguably questionable beliefs around mental health issues and mental illness, topics that are prominent throughout Linkin Park's songs, and a close issue to the fans and the band, obviously. I added the obviously. Provided that Chester Bennington took his own life due to his own personal mental health struggles. This is all very interesting. This is probably not the kind of press they wanted for Linkin Park. On the heels
they should have fucking known better. I'm sorry.
I just don't see how this girl can possibly get a fair shot as the lead singer of an iconic brand. I'm not band, but brand.
Brand. Yeah. You're exactly right. Like Linkin Park, Korn, Limp Bizkit, that was all a culture.
Yep.
It was. It really was. We don't really have music like that nowadays, I don't think. Besides like freaking Taylor Swift and shit like that. You know, there's not really like a culture of music like that, like necessarily like that.
Mm-hmm. But I also saw something else. I don't know which one of the bandmates it is, but one of the four founders I want to say it's the bassist, Phoenix. I could be
Hmm.
wrong. But I don't believe he's going on tour with them. I believe they're using a temporary bassist and that he's only going to perform in the studio for them, which makes zero sense when the record's already done.
Yeah.
But
So
there's just a whole lot of different news stories all surrounding this one thing.
and here's the thing, they fucked it.
Oh,
Even if
big
they,
time.
well, not just for this. Like, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Like, they can try and come out and start another band, maybe with a different vocalist, but then they're gonna get shit for that.
Yep.
You
No,
can't do shit.
they are 100% stuck with each other now. This is what they chose. This is who they chose. And they chose each other. And they chose Linkin Park. Man. Just a shit show, man. Big shit show right here. There's a
In
lot
the
wrong with
video,
this.
here comes the teacher in me. So the video that I watched, I think it was, God, I don't know. I've had a lot of Linkin Park songs stuck in my head since all this shit. It was either What I've Done or Somewhere I Belong, I think. But anyway, they were doing it live with her, and like the whatever it is, the melody, he always sang really high, but it would be about a mid for a female where that song would be, and her doing those fry screams at that level. You're supposed to fry screams, especially for Chester, that comes at a really, really high range. Like a really, really, like you're really high up in your range, right? Higher notes. That's where that
Mm.
shit comes into play. Now you can do it for some lower notes, but it sounds fucking weird. So go listen to her if you want to hear that. It's just like, because it has that gravelly sound, but it sounds so much lower for a female to be singing it. It doesn't sound right to me. I was like, what the fuck? Because it's so obvious she's trying to sound like Chester. Like it's not like she's even trying to be herself at all. It seemed
Yeah.
like. I didn't
It's
listen to
sad.
the new song because I saw that video and I was like pissed off and I was like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm curious how Chester's fam feels about it, and
Yeah, I wondered about that
them
too.
using the same name, and even more than that, will they reap any benefit from the name still being used? So there's
And
those questions.
now, oh my god, now it's gonna be the same damn thing as Avenged Sevenfold or Suicide Silence. I liked them before the Rev died, or I liked them before Mitch died. So now it's going to be a thing where you got to explain your T-shirt, or like, oh yeah, Suicide Silence is my favorite band, but not with this vocalist, with the other one. Now
Right.
it's going to be this shit with this band. That's some
Yep.
bullshit,
So Fubar wants you to do one of those for an example, Katie.
boy. You gonna pay me for that? No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
Y'all need to pay me for my teachings.
For yes, somebody donate right now for her teachings. By God.
My teachings, a penny. Oh, that's all
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah. A
A
penny.
penny for my thoughts.
That's right. Anyway, yeah, I think this is going to go down in flames. I think it's not going to work well. I think they're trying to monetize the past, which is
And then
okay, but
also,
it's also not okay.
there's so many people defending it too that I feel like are just so oblivious.
So
Like
Kumi says, go ahead.
it needs to be acknowledged. Like it's not just they got a new vocalist. Chester, killed himself. Like it's not some average circumstance. And people that are defending it are treating it like it is, and it's not.
Yep, I agree. Kumi said I cried when they announced a new singer because it felt disrespectful.
Exactly.
But after watching her perform, I think she's going to do good for the old songs. I'm looking forward to the new stuff. He said. Katie does not agree with you, and she finally got her thumbs up as well. Yep.